Good morning, everybody. Today I want to talk to you about a topic which is not related to a house or property, but it's related to owning a property, which is contracting employees, and particularly the new law which allows to have a part-time employees. So follow me to learn a little bit more about that. So you might have employees and you might want to have part-time employees because you have a little job to do there and there. The Guatemalan Constitutional Court lifted up the ban and obstacle to have new regulation for partial work. Before hiring new employees with a new modality, you have to consider legal and labor aspect, and it will be required to adapt the labor contract and to be sure that this new format is not to dissimulate a full-time job. So let's see a bit more about this is all working. So first you have to define the hour of work and day of work, because you cannot have a worker working for more than the legal hour time or equal at the legal time. So it has to be under 8 hours a day, 6 hours at night, and 7 hours when it's mixed day. Then it's established if it will be one day or different day. And it is no minimum hours or days that it can be contracted. The number of days per week should be a maximum of 5 to 6 days. Now, how to define the salary? Article 4 of the regulation indicates that the worker has the right to receive a salary based on the per hour legal rates, and it cannot be under the minimum salary fixed everywhere. For example, in 2021, the minimum salary per hour is 11 quetzales 61 per hour. So if the part-time work 5 days, 5 hours a day, it will be 11.61 per 5 by the number of day work. Remember, you still have to pay the 250 quetzales el bono incentivo every month on top of the salary is made. So what happened with bonus and vacation and all the normal advantage normal employees has? Well, the new rule clarified this matter and how now the part-time worker is entitled to receive in proportion of what is working part of Bono 14, which is in July, Aguinaldo, which is in December, and vacation, as well as if it is a woman, lactancy leave when having a child. So yes, all this has to be proportionate, properly documented, and remember, if you have more than 3 employees, you have to register them with X, the Guatemalan and Social Institute, but always seek advice from legal experts because it's always a little bit technical, and for part-time worker, it's not very clear exactly with X. So remember, if you have a part-time employee, he has the right to receive all the bonus and advantage, but it's proportionate, always documented. Labor contract mandatory content. You have always to make a written contract. So it is essential to have the following. The function, define the function, the full name as stated on DPI, because sometimes you will find out that employees use a different name and you may document we don't have the proper identification. How many days work or hours per day, hourly salary, and how many days and hour per day and week at the same time. If the person changed from a full-time contract to a part-time, it has to be documented that the transfer has been voluntary. It means it has to be signed and preferably in front of a notary. The contract must be executed in 3 copies and notice must be given to the Labor Ministry within 15 working days of its execution. Now there is a platform on the Ministry of Labor site where you can load the individual contract as well. And remember also when you hire somebody, they need to have a RTU, Registro Tributario Unificado, which is their identification tax number in front of the SAT, and this has to be actualized every year as well. One of the aspects of working every day is the resting time you have and the change of hours. So the resting time is established that a half hour must be given for 8 hours of work. If it is 4 hours, it is 15 minutes, and if it's under 4, there is no rest. This continued working day is recommended that the interval between the hours work is less than an hour. If the work requires flexibility, the patron must inform the employee on Friday of its coming week work time. One aspect is important to have in mind is that an employee or you and an agreement with the employee can decide to reduce the hours of work because it's not so much needed. So its worker has to be the volunteer for this, and he has to be notarized document and keep in his file. Also, it is recommended if it's somebody who has been working for you for many years, that you, because you don't stop the labor relation, you just modified it, that you don't pay the severance package. But it is good to provision it for the years already work and the person as is entitled, and freeze it in an account in order for you, in the case the person will leave, you will notify them that to have already the money taken aside. One thing is important to notice is that some people hire employees and have them bill them. But if you have an employee who is or every week doing the same thing, you could be accused to dissimulating a relation of employees boss. So you have to be very careful on this matter, because one aspect is on the labor law side, and the other it's on the civil side law. So you have to be careful, and it's always important to get assessment counsel from a legal expert, a lawyer on this matter. So watch out with this topic particularly. And one question sometimes is, can you ask exclusivity for you working as a part-time? Well, there is no, on Article 18 of the Labor Code, exclusivity is not an essential characteristic of employment. So unless it is an accountability between two or more employment, it is not something you can request. Thank you for following me, and keep posted on the new upcoming videos, and see you soon.